It's time to move on to our next corner, which is a few cosplayers from the Netherlands who will be introducing makeup. じゃあ次、オランダのコスプレたち3人が、メイクについて紹介します。Let's go.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey everyone.
Hello. How's everyone doing? Are you enjoying the live stream?
Thank you for joining us today. I am Seth Lopez from the Netherlands. I was the representative for the World Cosplay Summit in 2014 and 2015.
My name is Ashley. I was the representative in 2018.
And I'm Kaoru. I was representative of last year, 2019.
And we would really love to tell you about the WCS and about our experiences. But first, we want to show you some of our local foods. You want to start with the cheese?
Okay. So I get cheese, and I'll be eating during the stream because I like to eat.
Our country is really known for all the different kind of cheese we have and the wide range of available cheese. And I think we both got the same thing. I think this is the most well-known thing from our country. These are stroopwafels. And
they also have them in a mini version?
Yes. And they're kind of a cookie with syrup on the inside. And they're very soft and squishy. And it's the one thing that everyone...
Because mine is lavender flavor, somehow.
Lavender cookie.
Yes, mine is lavender flavor.
So, but as you can see, we're already half in costume because while we're talking about the WCS, we're going to do the makeup that we usually do for the costumes. Which costumes are you guys going to wear?
I will be doing Mina from Boku no Hero Academia.
I'm wearing Shitsu from Code Geass.
And I'm going to wear Sado Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! So do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, we can just start on makeup and I'll start asking the questions. So,
so guys, we have a few questions pre-asked before we started with the stream. And if you do have questions, please ask them in the chat and we can answer them for you if they're not in our main question list. Yes?
Yes.
So let's go.
Let's start. Well, the first question is, since we're all alumni and we have done WCS, why in the first place did you join WCS?
Why did you join, Kaoru?
Why did I join?
Yes.
Well, for me, going on a cosplay stage, a world cosplay stage, with so many countries, meeting so many different people, and that was just like a huge thing to me. And for me, it was actually more of a dream. Like, I knew about the competition, I knew about that performance stage, but I actually just dreamt about it. I didn't think I would make it, at least not this fast. So I was really amazed by it.
It always happens faster than you think. And Mitz, what about you? Because you were the first one that you were the first one that went out of all of us.
Out of all of you, yeah. Well, for me, since I started, I've also did performances with friends, usually at smaller conventions or bigger groups. And when World Cosplay Summit was announced, I really wanted to participate because I would love to meet people who have the same ambition and love for cosplay and costume making. So I really wanted to try that because it had different countries that were also participating. The first time I actually tried for WCS was also the first time I got selected, which was a big shock for me because, like I said, I always wanted it, but I didn't expect to be chosen the first try because I always heard from other alumni before me and people from other countries that I knew that it was really hard to select. So it was a real honor, and I'm really happy that I'm part of this ever-growing family each year. And you, Ashley?
Before I tell about the experience, I just realized it will look very strange if I don't tell people what I'm doing. I'm using a thing called face tape. And it looks a bit strange now that you see one side of my face that's taped and the other side that's not taped. So I wanted to address it because I was looking at myself like, oh, wow, okay. But you can really see the difference if you just see one side of my face. Okay, why I joined the WCS. Well, WCS was always a dream ever since I saw competitions. And the funny thing is, the first international competition I ever saw was in France. And the Dutch representative was Alana. And she became my partner for WCS 4 years later. So it all was full circle. And that was really cool. I never expected to be on the big WCS stage with her, who technically inspired me to compete. So that was really cool.
I have something similar, by the way, with my partner. Because I met her when she was competing, and I was being the MC for that competition. So that's how we met. So I also didn't expect to compete with her someday, though.
It's fun to be able to compete
Small
with.
World.
It indeed is a small world.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just checking the chat if there's any other questions, which I don't see yet, so I'll follow up. So once you kind of decided to join the WCS, how did you prepare for the preliminaries, and what do you think made you win, or what are good tips to win the preliminaries?
I still don't really know why we won. I still think it makes no sense.
Why did you even select me?
No, but I mean, I think we were one of the only people who tried to qualify with a non-Japanese cosplay. True. And then they choose the people who are from a non-Japanese video game. It makes no sense to me.
Because you actually had time in your year. That is why, because you had time to get ready in another cosplay eventually. Like when we had it, we had like a month. So the cosplay didn't matter, it was just that you were good.
That's true.
Yeah, you're being judged on your skills, on your performance. So I think they took all of that into account. And then if you can change it still, as long as it's for the final, if it's a Japanese series, right, then it's fine.
Yeah, when they see all the competitors on stage, I think most of the judges will look at what you would be able to do at the finals instead of what you're already doing on stage. Since it's easier if someone has a good idea to help them make that idea become reality than having people who made a good skit, but a skit that would never work on the WCS stage, for example. And I think a lot of judges would agree.
Yeah, because you have to have a skit that, and that's the tip that I would like to give. You will have to have a skit that that resonates with almost 40 countries and more, because WCS is still growing. And something that is funny in your own language will maybe not be funny in another language, or people who have not seen the series. So you have to make sure that everything in your skit is understandable and reachable for everybody. Doesn't matter what their language, culture, or heritage is, doesn't really matter, as long as it's enjoyable. And I think that is the main thing that I can give as an advice, is just be sure to also check with friends who have never heard of the series, or people who just don't do cosplay at all, if you know such people, and have them check if it's enjoyable for them, because then it doesn't matter who watches your performance, it will always be a good time and they will remember it by that.
I mean, there's a reason not many WCS skits are comedy, because comedy is so different in each part of the world.
I've only done.
You're the exception.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, we didn't really want to make it comedy, but we found a way to make something that is understandable indeed for all the audience. So that's why I think we ended up with it. And we liked it because we got feedback from our friends and people understood it and they liked it. So I think that was successful. And for me, if I would to give people tips if they want to join the preliminaries for WCS, even the preliminaries is already quite a struggle. So make sure you team up with someone you can communicate well, who you can talk things through. Because, of course, me and my partner, we had discussions. You're not agreeing with everything immediately, but at least we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Of course, not smoothly, but sometimes, you just have to argue. So find someone who you can do that well with, I would say. And also, we kind of had like not all the same skills, so we could learn from each other, and therefore we could make the best out of our teamwork, actually. So yeah, I would definitely say find a good partner that you work well with.
Yeah, and also find somebody who you can actually count on, that if it goes wrong, they can back you up, and be that person that can back that person up, because things will always go wrong. It doesn't matter how good you prepare, how good you practice, everything can go wrong, and you need somebody who just doesn't freeze and doesn't do anything because you fell down, but you need somebody who makes it into the performance to help you up, or just laugh if you have a comedy skit and just continue with that.
Yeah, I agree. It's very important to have a partner, which is going to sound a bit strange because I had never cosplayed with Alana before the preliminaries, but it's important to have a partner that understands you and that you can talk to. What was the next point on the agenda?
Let me see. That's more inside of. Yeah, sure.
Before we go to the next point, I saw
you're pink.
A question. Yeah, I'm pink. It happens fast. I had a question in the chat that somebody is asking what kind of makeup I'm using and how I do my eyebrows. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera. So it's just water-based face paint, which I just apply with a sponge that has like a small structure so that it actually looks like skin when you apply it. So don't use a brush, because for me personally, like, I know people who work with brushes well, but as soon as I use a brush, I just look like a canvas instead of actually being skin. And just for every apply that you make, just wet it in a bowl of water and then just dab it again, but don't make it too wet because then it will just drip. And also for my eyebrows, I just use glue stick, just like the normal preschool edible glue stick.
Yeah, me too.
That is safe for kids to eat, or like just in case, so that you don't get a rash or anything. I just apply 3 layers, let it dry, and then each layer I let dry once it's set. And then I just powder it with normal face powder, and then after that I can apply my makeup. So I hope that answers your question. Funny?
On to the next question, you mean, of the Q&A?
Yeah.
What's your favorite WCS event? Because, of course, we have the big competition, which we prepare for, have our competition costume and the whole performance. But besides that, we have a lot of side events, and that kind of differed per year because, for instance, I didn't have what was the One Piece theme park called again?
Oh, the Laguna one.
Laguna, yes. I did not have that, for instance. And I think you guys did. So what was your favorite?
Well, we did have the Laguna event, but we were there while there was a typhoon. So we were not allowed outside. We saw the ship and we had the opening ceremony, but right after that, we all fled inside just to be safe. Because, better to be safe than sorry.
I love how you're like, we saw the ship.
Yeah, we saw the ship.
And you got a typhoon.
We made a picture in front of it, and
typhoon experience.
Then we ran inside. Because you don't want to be stuck outside when there's a typhoon while you're in a costume. But a lot of the events that Mitsuki had, none of us had. For example, the red carpet parade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them don't
so sad.
Yeah, because we had the red carpet, and we also had, instead of Laguna for the first year that I went, we had the Centraire event, which was at an airport, which on its own is a whole experience. Because, for you guys and everybody who is watching who has been to Nagoya Airport, you have a big open space where everybody just collects before their flights for eating, just shopping. It's just a plaza. And our opening event was literally on a stage in the middle of that plaza.
Oh, wow.
So for us, it was a whole new experience because 9 out of 10 people who just came to the airport for a flight got a whole cosplay show. Unexpectedly. So that was fun. And
kind of fun, though.
Photo shoot. Yeah, it was really fun because like you met a lot of people who didn't know what was happening, but did enjoy that it was happening, and especially the kids, because when they see their favorite characters while they're waiting for a flight, it was really fun. And we had the photo shoot for the costumes outside, which was hell because of the heat. And no shade, literally no shade at all, because it's like the airplane spotting location. So that was a whole new thing. And Laguna for us was our first year when it was there. So we really had to like get used to that as well. But the One Piece ship itself was so much fun.
I think that's a favorite event for a lot of people. Just for the ship.
Like if you like One Piece, that is one of the best events that you could have. And the red carpet, the red carpet will always be my favorite because it just makes you interact with the people who are watching your cosplay, want to take pictures of your cosplay, ask you questions, and all that included with like a little bit of a red carpet moment of walking up as a celebrity and just showing, like posing and just hanging out with the rest of the cosplayers. As an alumni, it's also fun because we had a little bit more freedom in walking the red carpet, which made it fun to just interact with the rest of the alumni. The waiting was hell, though, because
yeah, it's super warm. Talking about the warmness in Japan, my favorite event was the Oso Parade, which a lot of people find very exhausting. But I don't know about your years, but the Oso Parade was on the same year as the championship for me. Was it on the same day as well?
You mean? Yeah, for us it was on the same day. And for us it was because we had semifinals and finals. The one who went to finals were not obligated to join the parade. So we did not. But I kind of am a little sad that I missed it. So if I have ever the chance to go back, I definitely would join the Oso Parade.
Next year.
I know.
I think the Oso Parade I think the Oso Parade is really fun, even if it's very exhausting since it's on the same day. And I remember my partner and I talking about it if we wanted to join, because our finals costumes is the one in the back. It's Black Rock Shooter, which has full body paint. So if you're in another costume for a few hours of the day and then have 1 or 2 hours to change into your finals costume, it's probably not a good idea to do the Oso Parade. But I really wanted to do it anyway. So we choose to wear simpler costumes to the Oso Parade, and we wore Ishizu and Kaiba to the parade, which is also something I would not recommend. I would recommend and I wouldn't recommend, because it's a parade outside in the sun for 2 hours. And if you wear something like Kaiba, which has leather pants and a very, very thick shirt, it's gonna suck because you feel like dying. But wearing something...
There are other teams who made the mistake of leather.
Yeah.
It kind of... Yeah.
Too.
It's not a good idea. But on the other side, I had no idea that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was as big as it is in Japan. And I never really cross-play before I wore Kaiba at WCS. So that was all new to me. And the amount of girls on the sidelines just going, "Oh my god!" That blew me away. And that was so cool, because I'd never experienced that before. Because normally if you wear a female costume, it's just the regular reactions of people going like, "Oh, that's a cool costume and I like that character." But seeing the fangirl reactions, that's strange to me, but it's also very cool.
Oh, that reminds me, we had like a girl when in 2015, because the Oso Parade for us in 2014 and 15 was on the day after finals, because we only had one final day. and we were wearing Sword Art Online, and then the new outfits that were just out. And we had a girl who kept running through the line just to say hi again. And we noticed. So, like the last time we saw her, we stopped in the line. Though WCS didn't really like that one, but we stopped to take a picture with her, and she just started crying.
Aww.
And it was so adorable.
So sweet.
By the way, I see a question in the chat regarding WCS. How was the food during your trips?
I can answer this, but I'm also the most difficult person ever.
Yes.
So
Like
I don't eat fish. That's a big problem if you're in Japan. So I found out that you get a form right before you leave where you have to fill in if you're allergic to something. Which apparently means fill in everything that you don't eat, which I didn't know. So they kept giving me fish. Because I didn't fill in, I don't eat fish.
Nice.
So just tell people that it will be fine. Don't be like me. But they did give me... Yeah, they do give you options if you tell them, oh, I don't eat something.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you a lot of food, actually.
Yeah,
they give you a lot
breakfast
of
is included.
bentos. Yeah,
Yeah,
breakfast is included. But the bentos are so big. It's so much food.
And you need it
I didn't have
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Every time they give you food, just take it and eat it. If you're hungry, it doesn't matter. Because you're going to forget. Because that's how cosplayers are. We forget to eat.
Be like, what is this food you speak of?
And the same goes for water bottles. They keep giving you water bottles as well. Which
But
is
that's
very
a good
nice.
thing. Stay hydrated.
Okay, so I see some other questions in the chat.
Sure.
Let's see. First one. How do you find packing your suitcase for Japan with all the props, costumes, and wigs? Who wants
Tetris.
to answer first? Tetris.
You learned to play Tetris.
Expert level.
If you know these characters, you know that my character has a very, very big weapon. And since I'm not a tiny person, my weapon turned out to be 2 meters and 15 centimeters, which sucks if you have to pack it in a suitcase. So we had a special-sized bag that was specifically only for the props. And the stage props, I think most teams are very good at making stage props that can be taken apart. Either with screws or with PVC pipes or... But the thing about stage props that can be taken apart, the more parts you have in a stage prop, the more risk you have of things breaking. So it's all about figuring out, so it's about figuring out the good amount of pieces that you can have in a stage prop without it being very fragile. How many costumes did you guys pack in a suitcase?
I had
Too
2
many.
suitcases, and I think that we
Which
brought
year?
5.
I think 5 is the amount that almost everyone takes to WCS.
Unless you're an alumni.
Yeah.
Then you take more.
Since we had armor in our finals costumes, we had one of the suitcases with just the armor pieces, and my partner gave all the other costumes to me, so I could use my 2 suitcases for the 10 costumes that we had to take, just to make sure that the armor was okay. So smart packing is very important, because you never know what they're going to do with your suitcase. They actually opened my suitcase. Did I never tell the story of my open suitcase?
No, tell us now.
No.
Because we almost killed people, and I feel so bad. But we never. If people watch this, I'm very sorry. I brought that acrylic nail polish liquid. It smells horrible. It's the liquid that they use in nail salons, you know, to make your acrylic nails. Yeah, I packed that in my suitcase. I put tape around it. I put it in a plastic bag, taped the bag, and then put it in my suitcase. So it was very well protected. And it was in the same suitcase as the armor and as the snacks that we took with us for all the other teams. And then the moment I got my suitcase in China, which was one of our stops, I could smell the liquid without even opening my bag. So I had a panic attack, like, oh my god, the costumes are ruined, there's going to be acrylic nail stuff on everything. It turned out they opened everything, took all the tape off to see what it is, and then just threw it in my bag again and closed the bag. That was very strange. But what we didn't realize was that the liquid had soaked into the food products. So the candy that we handed out to everyone apparently had acrylic nail liquid on it. And we only noticed that when we came back to the hotel and we started to eating the ones that we had left. And we tasted the acrylic liquid.
What?
And I felt so bad because what if he poisoned people? I should still feel bad about it, but I didn't know. It's never pack those things. Just leave them at home.
Yeah, for us, packing was fairly easy. I think the worst thing that for me we had to pack was our book for our House Moving Castle skit.
Oh, that was a big stage pop.
Yeah, I think that was the worst because it was completely made of cardboard. So we had to pack it well so it doesn't get damaged. And it was also big, so everybody at the airport was like, excuse me, but could you explain what that is? Like, it's a book. I don't know how to explain the book. Here's a picture. It's like, it's a book. And then they'll just be like, it's a 6-foot book. Why is it a book?
I don't know how to explain.
I learned after that year, if you arrive at Nagoya Airport and they ask you about your props and you tell them that is because of the World Cosplay Summit, none of them even bat an eye. They're just like, oh, yeah, you're one of those 40 teams, it's fine.
But that's the thing with the props you bring to the competitions as well. There are weight and height limits and
Height restrictions.
measurement limits. So you do have to take that into account.
So we have another question. Somebody's asking, how do you stop the wig from falling? So what do you do to make sure
It's a heavy wig.
that it doesn't fall off? Which is a good question, seeing as you're doing it right now, Kauder.
No, mine is not heavy. This one is light.
If you want,
I think you had a very heavy.
No, but it is.
Oh, what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like I'm putting some. Well, this is lash glue, but you can also use some skin glue. And I think in Japan you have other products that do that. And then I'm sticking the glue a little to my sides so that it is more nice to look. But to actually hold heavier wigs, I think I would ask you because you made this big.
I had a whole construction in my wig.
You had a construction?
I think,
yeah.
I think she is the better option because the wig that you mean, like the 10 kilo wig, I literally used nothing. That thing was so heavy it didn't even dare to budge.
Wow. Oh, I'm amazed by that. Okay. So Ash.
I didn't even want to move, but yeah, Ash, tell us.
I can show the construction.
You have it?
Yeah, it's on there. It's that wig.
Okay. Oh, it's that wig. I didn't know. Okay.
I have to stand up.
Like
and
with
grab
your
it.
leather pants.
With my shorts, you mean? Yeah.
You were not supposed to stand. She was blaming me for standing up.
Oh. Sexy Kaiba. Perfect.
I can hear you laughing about my shorts.
You can see us.
No, the inside of my wig. This is iron boning, and it wraps around my head. This is the one that wraps around my head. And then there's a cross on the inside. So it's kind of like a helmet. And since it has iron boning here, I can pin this to my head to make sure that it doesn't fly off. So
that's
you
amazing.
make you
That's
yeah.
nice.
It's very
I
cool.
really didn't notice. Like, I know you for so long, and I never saw this.
To be fair,
Well, it's
my
a good
partner
thing
made,
that you don't notice, though.
well, my
At
partner
least it's
made
well
the wigs,
made.
so all credit goes to Alana because she made the wigs, and it was her
Thank you,
idea.
Alana. That's amazing.
It's a very smart thing to do.
Alana is a wig magician.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if there are more interesting questions.
I have one here. So what do you feel
go.
is the best experience you had at the World Cosplay Summit?
That's
It's a hard
like,
question.
Yeah, the best
The
experience.
best experience. Yes, if you have to choose one.
I think it's the onsen part, and I know my friends will laugh at me for this, but the onsen part, because that's after the competition. Like right after the competition, you have this, well, kind of like food party and karaoke party, and it's at onsen. So after the whole stress regarding the events and regarding the competitions, everything is done, and you get to relax for one day, and you get to bond with all the different teams. So that moment, I think, is really like my best memory, because it's really a nice way to close off the whole event. That really made an impact.
Yeah,
And
I
yours?
agree. I think the best part is always the events where you get to spend time with the other teams
Yeah.
and just like hang out and have fun.
Hang out, have fun, have food. Which reminds me.
Speaking of food, mine was like the karaoke party. Because in my
yeah.
year we had like the
Oh.
karaoke party at Berlin at big karaoke. That's
Was it a Grand Prix? You mean?
No. Like
Oh.
we had like a welcome party, but it was also a karaoke party.
Oh,
But
okay.
in one of our years, it was right after. I don't know if it's my year or one of the alumni years, but it was right after Meiji Muda, and everybody was so tired. And as soon as you get to the karaoke party, like if you want to sing, you have to be fast to enter a number because you're there with almost 80 people and organizers who all want to do a song. So you have to like be fast if you want to sing because you only have 2 hours. So not everybody can pick a song. And the group was literally split in 2 sections. You had like one group hogging the part where you can like ask for a song. And the other people were just literally just standing with like a plate and a fork with the food, just waiting until the speech was done. And like the time, like you look through the table, you like look at each other, you just go like, "Let the Hunger Games begin," because everybody was so tired and we're hungry, and we just wanted to eat. But you have to wait for like the announcements and everything. And Ashley, there is Jazzy Chan asks if the boning in your wig is painful.
It isn't actually. She measured my head, so it's exactly the size of my head. And let me grab it again. Everything on the wig is detachable, so if something becomes too heavy or it becomes too uncomfortable, I can take everything off. And there's even more structures inside. So it doesn't really feel like a wig, it feels like you're wearing a helmet.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah, and it's very easy.
Does anybody see any other questions?
Oh, my laptop
I'm
died
seeing-
the moment we began.
That's okay.
I see someone asking PVC joints question.
Oh, was that because of my wig?
I think so, because it was a recent comment.
Come here again.
You just keep that wig on your on your lap. It's fine.
This is my new monster.
But
do you
yeah,
mean?
everyone is impressed by the wig that is a helmet. So that was a really nice thing to add. I mean,
These are
I
the
didn't
same.
know either.
These are the same PVC pipes that they use in stage props. I don't know if you can see them.
Mm.
This is one of the attachments, and then the PVC pipe itself is in the wig, and on the inside it's attached over here with some foam and some thermoplastic. So I think she just melted the PVC pipe to the boning. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then if you look on this side, I think here you can see the thermoplastic. It's not hair, since it will be covered anyway by the horns.
That's nice.
Yeah, I see someone asking Worbla, but you indeed mentioned it was thermoplastic.
Yeah, it's Worbla. One of the things I can say about the thermoplastics, we were told to not bring Worbla to the WCS because thermoplastics melt with heat. So we made everything out of foam, except for the wig. But you have a few thermoplastics that melt with lower heats, like the Thebra one, which will literally melt off your body because it's so
don't
hot.
use it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so Tiffany has a question asking what alumni do when the teams are doing what they have to do. And that answer is really fast because you have two different kind of events. Usually we sleep. No, usually it's events that are the same events as the teams itself. But we also have some events that are alumni only. And that is mostly when you guys have a rehearsal and the time needs to be filled. But it's exactly the same events that you guys have, only a different programming.
I see another question coming up. How do you choose which cosplay to do for the WCS? That's a good question, actually.
Something without leather pants.
No, but how did you decide to? I think they might mean the main costume for WCS.
There is a list. There is a list of animes and series that you can't use. So first look at that. So you don't choose something and then make it and can't use it.
Happens.
And it also
happens.
don't laugh at me. It also has to be Japanese, which is the main point of the WCS. It's all Japanese costumes. The reason we choose Black Rock Shooter, we had an act, we had the costumes, we had the sound, and then we were told we couldn't use it because we were dumb and it was a Korean anime or game. So a month before the WCS, we had to make our finals costumes. So we just picked something that we both liked and where we could use the old act and the old audio and the old stage props with very few tweaks and just made it a Black Rock Shooter act. That's the most uninspiring story ever.
Be wary of your choices.
Yeah, for me it was because I knew Ray and I really like Fullmetal Alchemist, and it's mostly that our love and passion together really made that decision that we wanted to continue doing that. So it was something that we both really vibe with, we really had a passion for, so that's how we chose those characters.
Okay. Yeah, for us, for House Moving Castle, we really wanted to tell the story of the book and not just the movie, because the movie was originally based on an English book. So that was mostly what we wanted to do. And also, we really wanted an interactive skit. And for Chrono Crusade, that has a very special story, but I think mostly it's just humor because we did the WCS Film Festival together, and that was the first time we worked together. And seeing as we knew that we work really well, we just wanted to try that. So that's how that one ended. But I think usually just pick something that you feel passionate about and then share that with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And even though you've heard us tell some weird stories and some weird things that happened, WCS is still an experience that nothing will ever top. it's one of the most fun competitions that you can ever participate in, even with all the crazy things that happen.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
And
it really is an experience of a lifetime. And I really hope that it can continue. And this is the reason that we are doing this stream. And all of us are coming together to make sure that WCS can still continue after this. So if you want to show your support, please check the links that they have on their Facebook pages, Twitter, and Instagram, and show your support, and please back the Kickstarter so we can make sure that people who are still wanting to join WCS get the chance to do so and join the family.
We've got 1 minute to go here. I did want to get a final word from each of you about the work you've done today, and a message for everybody.
Okay.
Start with Ashley, maybe. Go to next.
Okay. Well, Mitsuki kind of said what I wanted to say about the Kickstarter and about the event. But I really hope that everyone gets a chance to experience the WCS again. If it's as a participant, as an alumni, as someone who watched the stream, it's a big community. And I think this online event shows that. And I really, really hope that we can all pull through and make it happen again next year.
Great. Let's get a message from Kodu.
Yeah, meeting so many different people around the world, 40 countries and even more. That was just the most unique experience I ever had, and I really wish future teams can experience that too. And even though it might be humid, it might be a hectic schedule, it'll be so worth it. So also don't forget to enjoy your time there and just make friendships that last for a lifetime.
Great. And a quickie from Mizuki said Novice.
So like everybody said, WCS really is an experience that you just have to have in your lifetime. And speaking as a representative and an alumni, I really hope it can continue, because WCS has given me friends that will always be with me for the rest of my life. And I really see them as family. They say you cannot pick your family, but I think we can, and I hope to get to see them again, either as an alumni, and I hope people will join too for next year's.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. That was amazing. See you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and I hope everybody enjoyed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was said Nobis, Naneko, and Kaoru Lily from the Netherlands. 3人オランダの、世界コスプレサミット、アラムナイ、だったんですけども、最後のコメント、としては、簡単で、言えばコスプレサミットはすごくいい経験、それで、エンジョイ、をすることはすごく大事。楽しんで、こう辛い日本の夏の中ではいろいろ大変だけれども、友達を作るのはすごく大事。で、三木セッドノベス最後、言ったのはこう一生の友達を作れる、場所になるので、皆さん目指して代表、になってください。ということです。もう本当に3人ともは活発な、活動をしている3人で、実際に一つカオルの方がTikTok の映像を自分でも作りました。All three of the cosplayers are very active, and I do believe that Kaoru also made one of the TikTok videos on her own. Speaking of TikTok videos, the last one that we saw was actually created by the 2020 representatives who were selected for this year, who couldn't make it and will be coming in the next year. TikTok の映像といえばさっき、1時間前ぐらいで見た映像なんですけども、それが2020年でのために選ばれた代表たち、今年はもちろん参加はできないんですが、来年に向けてTikTok の映像も作って楽しみしている気持ちを皆さんに伝えました。
World Cosplay Summit 2020 online 玉越品川美容外科海と日本プロジェクトブラザージョブトライブスご覧の各社の提供でお送りしております。
なたを愛しく覚えた時にあなたと暮らすこの海を私は好きになりました。私は好きになりました。